All right, let's be honest for a second. Have you ever gotten so mad at ChatGPT you wanted to throw your computer out the window? You know what I'm talking about, right? You ask for something specific, and it spits back absolute garbage. Well, here's the thing. What if I told you it's not ChatGPT's fault? It's yours. Yeah, this is a familiar sight for all of us. You ask for a professional apology email, and what you get is, well, this generic, soulless junk. But what you actually want is something sharp, detailed, and professional. The gap between those two can feel like a massive canyon, right? But closing it is actually way easier than you think. It all starts with a simple change in how you think about the problem. And this quote, this right here is the key to everything. Joseph Thacker, people call him the prompt father for a reason, and he just nails it. He says, if the AI's response is bad, you have to treat it as a personal skill issue. Now, that might sound a little harsh, but it's actually the most empowering thing you can hear. Because if it's a skill issue, well, skills can be learned. Okay, so let's get into it. We're going to treat this like a skill we can actually get good at. This isn't about feeling bad about our prompts, it's about taking control. And that whole process begins with one super fundamental idea. So Vanderbilt University has this amazing course, and they define a prompt in a way that'll totally change how you see this. A prompt isn't a question, it's a program you write with words. Just let that sink in for a second. You're not having a conversation. You are a programmer, and you are giving a computer a set of instructions. When you think like that, man, it changes the entire game. And why is that so important? Well, because these AI models, these LLMs, they don't think. Not like we do. At the end of the day, they're just super advanced autocomplete systems. They're literally just trying to predict the next word in a sentence, based on probability. So our job isn't to ask them a question and hope they understand. Our job is to give them such a clear starting pattern that the only probable next words are the ones we want. We're essentially hacking the autocomplete. All right, so if we're programmers now, how do we write better code? Let's start building our basic toolkit. Time to go from asking questions to giving commands. First tool in the box, the persona. This one's a game changer. Instead of just asking this faceless AI to write an email, you give it a job title. You tell it, you are a senior site reliability engineer. Suddenly, it's not just anybody, it's an expert. It's like if you wanted to plan an amazing trip to Japan, would you ask a random guy on the street for advice? No way. You'd go find a travel expert. Same thing here. Giving the AI a persona instantly gives it the right perspective, the right tone, the whole package. So, persona is a fantastic start. But even with a great persona, you might find the AI is still, well, making stuff up about the problem. It's just inventing details. That brings us to our next tool, and honestly, this one might be the most important one of all. Get this. One single thing can solve about 80% of your prompting problems. I'm not kidding. 80%. And that one thing is context. This is your number one weapon against the AI just making things up, or hallucinating as they call it. The mantra here is always be contexting. You have to remember these models are essentially frozen in time. They have no idea what happened yesterday, let alone 5 minutes ago. So you have to feed them all the facts. The more context you give, the less the AI has to guess. And here's a pro tip from the folks at Anthropic. You have to give the AI an out. Tell it, hey, if the answer isn't in the information I'm giving you, it's okay to just say, I don't know. If you don't do that, it'll literally lie to you just to try and make you happy. Okay, so now we've got the AI playing the right role, and we've given it all the right facts. Now we can start getting really surgical. We're shifting from telling it what to do to telling it how to do it. And just look at this. This is incredible. This shows you the power of defining your output requirements. It's the same core prompt, but look at the difference. On one side, a totally professional email. On the other, we just changed one instruction. We told it to sound extremely anxious and panicked, and we get this complete mess of lowercase letters and run-on sentences. That's the level of control you have. It's wild. Want to take that control even further? There's a technique called few-shot prompting. It's basically the ultimate show, don't tell. Instead of just describing what you want, you actually show it a few examples of a perfect output. You give it a template to follow. This leaves almost zero room for guesswork. You're not just describing the house, you're handing it the blueprints. Okay, you've got the basics: persona, context, output. You're already way ahead of the curve. But now we're going to get into the really cool stuff. These are the advanced moves that force the AI to stop giving you the boring, average answer and start creating something truly special. So first, you can force the AI to show its work. It's a technique called chain of thought. You just tell it to think step by step. It's amazing for getting more accurate answers. But the next level up is something called tree of thought. Think of it this way. Chain of thought is like walking down a single path to solve a problem. Tree of thought is like sending out a team of explorers down every possible path at once and having them report back on which path is the best. It's way more powerful. But my absolute favorite technique, and this is just brilliant, is what I call the playoff method. You basically create a battle of the bots. It is so cool. You tell the AI, okay, you're an engineer, write a draft. Now you're a PR manager, you write a draft. Then you unleash a third persona, you are an angry customer, rip both of those drafts to shreds. And for the final step, you tell the first two to get together and write one final perfect version based on that brutal feedback. The results are just wow. And why does this crazy method work so well? It's because of a little secret about these AIs. Their real superpower, a lot of the time, isn't writing from scratch. It's critiquing and editing. They are amazing critics. So by setting up this little internal battle, you're forcing the AI to use its best skill on its own work. You're tapping into its true strength. Okay, so we've talked about personas, context, telling it what format you want, even making AIs fight each other. We've covered a lot. But there is one thing, one single meta skill that ties all of this together. It's the secret ingredient that makes all of these other techniques powerful. So what is it? What is the one skill that unlocks the whole thing? It's this: clarity of thought. See, this was never about learning some magic words to trick a machine. It's always been about learning how to be clearer in your own thinking. Just think back through everything we just talked about. Every single one of these techniques is secretly a tool for your brain, not the AI's. Assigning a persona, that forces you to clarify the perspective you need. Providing context, that forces you to get crystal clear on the facts. Chain of thought, that forces you to map out the process. Few-shot prompting, that forces you to define with zero ambiguity what a good result actually looks like. These aren't AI tricks, they're clarity tools. And that leads us to the biggest takeaway of all. A bad prompt is just a symptom of a bigger problem: unclear thinking. If you can't write a good prompt, it's not because you don't know the magic words. It's because you haven't figured out in your own head exactly what it is you're trying to achieve. So the next time you're getting frustrated with an AI and getting garbage results, just stop. Take a step back. The AI can only be as clear as you are. The real question isn't, how can I write a better prompt? The real question is, how clear is my own thinking right now? Do the thinking first, then you can write the prompt.